Season 5's finale looked like it was going to be all about House and Cuddy, but fans actually saw Cameron and Chase's wedding, and the shocking reveal that House's detox and his fling with Cuddy was all in his head.
I think it was a really cool juxtaposition of having the wedding going on versus House realizing he needs help. And it takes the edge off how dark and intense it is that he's checking himself into a mental institution.
I have my husband's sperm.
So Cameron has the sperm of her dead husband, which is completely controversial. That's where sort of Chase really stepped up, and his love for someone, you know, overcame such a crazy act.
I never imagined that I would go to acting school to, like, spend 4 months talking about sperm one day.
Sperm everywhere.
It's always a sad thing when sperm comes between people.
It was the revelation that the whole thing has been a hallucination is held back to the last possible moment. And it is a shocking one. It shocked me when I read it. I didn't see it coming at all.
No, that's not what happened.
Actually, the end of season 5, to some extent, felt like where we've been heading since the beginning of the series. This is a guy on the edge, and he's stepped over the edge.
I doubt whether the whole of season 5 was planned in that way, only because it would be superhuman if those writers were able to plan things that far in advance. It sometimes feels to me, and I think they own up to this, that they're only about 20 minutes ahead of me, and I'm pretty far back.
Cuddy has quite a journey in season 5. She gets the baby, can't handle the baby. And then suddenly she's ripping her clothes off and making out with House, only it didn't actually happen.
He had the realization with the Vicodin in his hand, where we begin a very elaborate sequence of all these flashbacks that we constructed to be something that, you know, was similar to like Vanilla Sky or The Sixth Sense, one of these like, oh my God, that's what's been happening the whole time. So we had to revisit a great bit of distance, and that was exciting. The last 6 minutes of the finale are some of my favorite work on the show.
It's not intentional to lead your audience down a blind alley. In that case of the finale for season 5, you were sort of experiencing it as House experienced it. So as he started to unravel, you're suddenly becoming aware of what is real and what isn't real.
The asylum is a pretty gothic creation, and we actually had to go to New Jersey because they don't do gothic on the west coast of America. It's all it all looks like a petrol station, to be honest, and it is a pretty imposing edifice, made more so by the fact that it was a functioning psychiatric institution until only about 6 months before we went there.
We sort of closed the doors at the end of season 5. He gets sucked into a place we've never seen before, and season 6 opens up inside those doors.
The experience of being incarcerated, because that's essentially what it is, does change him a bit. But only a bit. And for how long, well, that remains to be seen.
House? No, it's your other friend at the asylum.
He is in somebody else's hands, unlike the typical House where he's the puppet master and pulling other people's strings.
I know you're busy ignoring me, but my minibar is empty.
The makeup of his team had to have changed in his absence.
So, how long do I have to be here?
I think we can tease a little more on, Foreman winds up in charge of the team.
You know, Foreman has to sort of step up to the plate. Obviously, that's going to put pressure on his relationship with 13 and where does Taub stand and all of that. At the same time, Foreman has to enlist the help of Cameron and Chase.
The old team comes back, and which is pretty exciting.
He does not have his medical license when he first returns.
Is he ever going to have a heart of gold? I don't think so.
He's someone who's going to be struggling all his life with the... with his dark side.
We're not going to be a happily married couple, you know, for more than, I don't know, 6 episodes.
Well, you know, that's House for you. You can't just have a happy ending.
James Earl Jones plays this African dictator who comes into the hospital, and we treat him. And there's a big ethical dilemma, you know, as to whether is he or isn't he, you know, committing genocide on, you know, on his own people.
If this series ended with House and Cuddy running off into the sunset together, it would be the foulest ending you could possibly imagine. I can only picture the amount of hate mail we would get. It's just not the show. It wouldn't happen.
we will never run out of medical mysteries on this show.
Now that it's going to its 6th season, there's no reason that this can't be the best season of the show.
Surely there's, some explosions and twists and turns to come.
A whole bold new adventure.
Now we've told you everything.
I'm saying I should not be here. I'm going with turning this ward upside down.
That's your wrist, huh?
Oh, I'm sorry. It's suicide taboo. Gosh, if I'd broken a rule on my first date, I will kill myself.
So, will being banged up in an asylum soften the doc's razor-sharp tongue any? Brand new Season 6 starts on Sky 1 HD next Sunday night at 9. It's followed at 10 by a brand new series of Fringe. Get your Sky Plus on all of that right now. Next tonight, feel the burn of the belly flops as Justin Lee Collins turns high diver.